Welcome to this episode of Horrific History and Hauntings. I'm Beth.
And I'm Raimi. We're your hosts, here to talk about the stories that the history books ignore.
From horrific epidemics and ghostly hauntings to the catastrophes and tragic events that have sickened humanity.
Yes, before we get into this day in history, I should also point out that thanks to the people leaving reviews and everything, we're getting them. We're waiting for enough to do a whole episode on reading them out and all that. Thanks for sharing. Keep doing that. We enjoy seeing people get the word out. Reach out to us, though. Let us know what you think personally if you want to email us or whatever. And also, I'm trying to start more tabletop role-playing games. If you're into that kind of stuff, send us an email or something. We're trying to find at least 2 more people to play. We'll work out a schedule and everything. We can make our own schedule, even if it is hectic. So if we can get a time and date set with a couple other people, we could work around that, couldn't we, Beth?
Except for in June.
Yeah, she has a birthday. Oh, and mine's in July, but I don't plan on doing anything.
I leave for my birthday.
I don't. Well, sometimes my aunt...
I like leaving. I don't ask for gifts. I ask to leave.
Yeah. Well, sometimes our aunt will not necessarily plan it on our birthday, but it's about that time of year where she likes to go on vacation, and I'll end up, or you occasionally will end up doing that with her, which is nice. I enjoy getting out once or twice a year. Okay, that was completely derailed. Beth, what do we have happening today in history?
Well, before we do that, we're going to have a horrific hydro hellscape episode. But today in history, it's going to be a short one. Like the whole episode's going to be short. And that's just the way it is. It's been rainy, it's been dreary, and I've been tired.
We ran out of coffee.
May 8th is the day we're recording. And in 1973, on May 8th, at Wounded Knee in South Dakota, the American Indian Movement, also called AIM, ended their 71-day standoff by surrendering to the government.
Oh, that's awful. I do like the name of the place, though.
Mm-hmm. They occupied Wounded Knee to show the unfair treatment of indigenous people and to ask for fairness and responsibility for past wrongs.
Fair. That's fair.
That's the not detailed way of putting it.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Okay.
This event, which came after years of fighting for rights, started talks about making things right and land rights and letting Native Americans govern themselves. Despite legal challenges, the AIM's dissolution, Wounded Knee's legacy persists as a reminder of ongoing struggles for indigenous rights in the United States.
Now, is Wounded Knees the name of a person or a place?
I think it's a place.
Okay. I
Pretty
didn't
sure
want
it's
to
a
insult
place.
somebody of my previous
Well,
statement.
it's either, I think it's the place, but it also, in the article I read, said Operation Wounded Knee. So I think it was also called, the operation was called that as well.
Okay.
Possibly.
I just realized I might have made a mistake there the way you were talking.
Oh. Well.
No, it's kind of sad that it had to happen the way.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the Devil's Pool, which I think there's a few different Devil's Pools.
Yeah, you've talked about a couple of them.
This one's located in Australia.
Okay, I've never seen that one.
It's located where 3 creeks kind of come together. The strong currents create a powerful undertow and swirling vortex around submerged rocks. This has led to numerous drownings since the 1950s.
You kind of get grabbed and bashed against the rocks. It's not the best situation to get into.
21 people have drowned at or near the pools between 1959 and July 2023.
Oh, my. Oh, this is one you've updated. I keep forgetting this isn't one of the Ways of the Eyes. So when I hear a date that's past like 2004, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I actually have to go online to websites to find this. According to a local indigenous tribe, there's a legend of a girl named Luna or Ulana. I'm not sure.
I thought you were talking about the moon.
I think it's a pretty name.
Yeah.
Either way. She fell in love with a warrior from a different tribe. They pretty much ran away and eloped, but were caught and forced to separate. So she was heartbroken and drowned herself in the Devil's Pool.
We have a song about something similar to that, don't we?
Do we?
It's just a song. A Little White Dove and...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a song about something very similar with Native Americans and ours in the U.S. here. I don't know where that song came from, so I don't know if it's a legend or just a song.
I don't know what song you're talking about, so I don't know. Some people believe her spirit is still luring in young men there, and visitors report seeing shadowy figures or hearing strange noises, and some describe an unsettling silence.
There's nothing worse than an unsettling silence.
Yeah. There's also many signs on this. I want to say it's a hike because I looked up videos as well, and it was a very beautiful area. But there's also many signs that are warning people of which places to avoid swimming in and things like that. So most of the drownings is likely due to people not listening to those signs.
Risk takers.
Yeah.
Or it's just dark and they're taking a risk
Yeah.
in swimming in the first place.
And obviously the geography of how it was created or
And
how it's...
continent you're on itself is full of dangerous things.
Yeah. Yeah.
All we hear about in the U.S. is all the dangerous critters in Australia.
Yeah, but it sounds more interesting.
It does. I don't know if there's cold regions in Australia. In the U.S. we have really cold areas.
I want to say they do have a little bit of different climates.
Okay.
Because I listened to... The reason that I'm saying this is I watch a girl from Australia streaming Sims sometimes.
Did you see snow out her window sometimes or something?
Well, no. I want to say while she was doing one of her videos, she was talking about how they have different climates in some areas. So they have different kinds of plants.
Okay.
While she was landscaping. That's what I feel like I remember.
This is our American education kicking in here.
Next up is Higbee Beach. It's located in New Jersey.
Really? I was going to say somewhere in the UK.
Oh, no. It's New Jersey. It has a fascinating past. It was named after Joseph Higbee, who ran a hotel there in the 1800s.
The Higbee Hotel.
According to his will, Thomas Higbee, Joseph's brother, expressed a desire to be laid to rest near the hotel in a custom-built grave. But his niece, Etta, had other plans when it came to his final resting place.
I like that name.
Etta?
Yeah.
Upon her passing in 1937, she had Thomas exhumed and placed near her in a separate cemetery, not on the property he wanted to be laid to rest on.
What's up with that? That happens a lot.
I guess they want their family near them, but I feel like you're dead, they're dead. Who cares? I don't know. I'm sure some people care more about it, but that's just my opinion. I'm dead. I don't give a crap.
If you have a family cemetery and everybody for generations has been buried there, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. As far as I know, he was the only one that was supposed to, but I don't know for sure. But according to local belief, this act of disrespect is thought to have unsettled Thomas's spirit. Since then, sightings of a ghostly figure described as a man in a long coat, sometimes accompanied by a black dog, have been seen by visitors.
Black dog. I watched Harry Potter. I know that's a bad sign. I like doggies. I own a black doggie.
Do you?
Yeah, Casper.
That's Dapple.
Same
it's different. Visitors have described experiencing sudden chills, feeling as if they're being watched, and their electronic devices malfunctioning. Messing with my cell phone. Rude.
Curse you, Higbee.
In another article I found, other strange sightings on Higbee Beach that have occurred for many years are nude sunbathers and lewd behavior. So you have an apparition on one side and some lewd behavior and naked people on the other, I guess.
I love the word lewd. I didn't expect that part. Well, I suppose the ghost might be the best option if you want to keep your sanity.
Yeah. Didn't sound like he messes with much except for your cell phone.
If you don't bring anything with you, he can't mess with.
Yeah.
Just take off all your belongings, everything, when you step out, and it won't go wrong.
Yeah. There's also some creepy old train tracks from World War I that's buried under the sand that can sometimes be visible after a storm, which it's pretty cool. I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah, imagine running across the beach like full sprint in the sand, and then all of a sudden you hit and
then you fall face first into the lewd behavior people.
Oh, this was the fun one.
Yeah. There's also Gardner Lake in Connecticut.
I think I've heard of this place.
Well, I never had before. In 1895, a local family attempted to relocate their house across the lake during the winter.
That's for 1894?
95.
1895. That's still, you imagine that's something that happens now, not back then.
Most people aren't going to try to move their house. They'll just build a whole new house.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very expensive and it's also very difficult.
Maybe they had plenty of barges. It's a lake.
It's not like trailer or mobile home, or what are those houses that you put together?
Modular.
Yeah, it wasn't like that either. It was a full-on house.
Mm-mm. I wish I'd have been the person to think up modular homes in 1895. Imagine the money you'd make out of that.
Yeah, especially if they're trying to tote them over.
Imagine how many horses you'd have to have. Well, you didn't need them on the lake, I don't think.
Their planned 2-day journey ended tragically when the weight of the house and their belongings proved too much for the ice. Because from what I understand,
it's ice.
Yeah,
I thought they were using barges or something.
Oh, no. I mean, they had, I guess, something that the house was on to roll it along, but it was over a lake of ice.
Imagine how you got it out down to the lake in the first place.
And as far as I could see, they left most of their belongings in the house as they were moving it.
How in the world were they going to get it back up onto land?
On the other side.
No, Beth,
of the lake.
know that, but how? You know, I think of an embankment. They had to get a house up a bank.
Oh, that's true too. I don't know. Very strong.
Near the last stretch, they get a run and go. Everybody push. Because I hope they didn't have a house and a bunch of horses on this lake.
Oh, I feel like they had to have the horses. They had to.
You know they did. I thought for sure that I thought there was going to be a boat involved. Like they just moved the house onto a barge somehow and then paddle it across.
Maybe they had it attached to a boat. I don't know.
If the lake was frozen, I doubt it.
I didn't look that far into it, but
I'm sure there's images.
But yeah, if the lake's frozen, how's the boat going to work?
Yeah, if the boat could bust through the ice, I wouldn't put my house on it.
As a result, this made the house sink. By morning, it was partially submerged, and despite salvaging some of the smaller items, the family couldn't rescue the house itself. And then when spring arrived and all the ice melted away, the house went fully under the water. It was half up while it was still partially frozen.
The coldest part of the year, you could have stayed in it until you fixed a new home.
Just the part that wasn't
upstairs, yeah. And then you could do like the old timey people and just throw your waste out the window.
Imagine how cold it would be, though.
Yeah, it's not going to be as cold as living out in the street since they drowned their home. Or no, they sank it. I wonder if the captain went down with the house.
As far as I know, no. This event sparked a legend among the locals. Like I said, I couldn't really find that anybody died during this, but...
Which is stunning in itself.
Yeah. They tell about a ghostly piano that they hear music coming from beneath the water, and it is rumored that the owners of the house couldn't rescue the piano, obviously, when the house was sinking.
You just look out and see people running out of a home in the middle of the lake, pushing a piano.
Yeah.
All they can save is the small stuff like knickknacks and family heirlooms. They're just running across this lake of paperweights and books and ledgers. And This is sad, but these have all been, well, most of these have been somewhat humorous to imagine.
Divers who have explored the house report hearing strange sounds as well. They also describe the house as well preserved with furniture, and as I said, the piano still intact.
It's like the Titanic in the middle of a lake.
Yeah. One theory suggests it's the ghosts of the homeowner, while others believe it's the spirit of a drowned sailor. As I mentioned before, I couldn't find anything to show that anybody died during this.
Well, technically, they were all sailors as they were pushing it across the lake.
There's more logical theories as to why this occurs. There's the moving water currents and trapped air bubbles could produce sounds resembling music inside the house.
Okay.
Which made me also think maybe, a fish or something's pushing a button. Flopping and pushing a button.
Can it even make noise now?
I don't know. I don't know how pianos work underwater. I can't afford a piano to experiment with that. Those are expensive.
Go to Holston Lake and just push a piano off the beach.
Oh. The house being well preserved underwater could be due to the cold freshwater environment, which slows down the process of decay. So those are the logical explanations.
Yeah. It's just interesting to know about. I'm terrified of drowning, so I can't be a diver. But a lot of these cool places. Yeah. We had a whole episode about people drowning. Part of this, wasn't it? Part of the horrific hydros.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was terrible. I watched that video. It was bad. Listen to one of our older episodes of horrific hydros. Probably the first one or the second one.
Speaking of which, moving on to Jacob's Well.
Oh.
It's in Texas.
Who's Jacob?
I don't know,
Well,
but
he
it's
had a
his
whale.
well. It's a 12-foot wide opening in Cypress Creek with crystal clear water.
Is it Cypress?
Said to be beautiful and inviting. Cypress?
Like yeah.
P-R-E-S-S?
I'm pretty sure that's Cypress.
Oh, okay, Cypress. It's a creek with a big hole, which is actually complex maze-like cave system.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Its depths plummet to about 140 feet, and the continuous flow of water formed a network of caverns and passages that have lured explorers for decades, and it claims some of their lives.
It's a creek?
It's kind of like the way the article I read was describing it is it's like a big underwater spring inside under a creek.
That's insane. You'd think of rivers and maybe mostly lakes, rivers, and seas having those, but not.
Well, I guess it's kind of a wide creek. It's called a creek, but in the pictures that I've seen, it's kind of wide.
Okay.
So.
Because we got creeks all around here, and they're just,
we ain't got no cool
like 4 or 5 foot wide, and I think then you just fall into that little puddle, and then you're 140 feet underwater in a maze.
Oh, yeah. If you look up a picture, it's a big, deep hole. Hold on a second. I will send you a picture.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, that's not necessarily a creek, is it?
No, I would call that more of a river, and
it's just a name.
I guess if you are an adventurous, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're the adventurous type, you're willing to jump into this big black hole in the middle of this beautiful creek, river, whatever it is.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of these old sci-fi channel animal monstrosity type things coming out of natural water sources and stuff like the Meg. You just learn to avoid things like this.
Yeah. There's a legend that tells of a Native American warrior who, following a battle, morphed into a catfish and entered the well.
Oh.
Another tale is about a hidden gold mine concealed somewhere within the cave's depths.
Well, who's going to go mine it? Not me. I'm sure people have tried and they are still down there.
And the legends have been fueled by the explorers who never made it back to the surface.
Oh, they found the gold and disappeared.
There's also tales of mysterious lights coming from underwater, hearing disembodied voices coming from under the water, and the, as usual, unsettling feeling of being watched.
I could handle the feeling of being watched. I couldn't handle the unsettling feeling of something coming up to grab me. Or just like some random air bubble in the cave moving at the right moment to cause a vacuum and suck me down into it. I don't.
Yeah. There's
no.
A couple of videos I found on YouTube, and it was describing there was 2 sets of divers at different times. I think one of them had 8 or 9 people, and I want to say 4 of them did not make it out.
Oh.
And it was describing more. There's chambers in these caves, in this underwater cave system. It did, like in the diagram in the picture, it does kind of look like a maze in a way. So and there's this one part that is kind of covered by gravel at some points where you can't get through at all. But then sometimes it's got this little opening where you have to take your gear off to get squeezed through. And that's when people usually start making the mistake of taking their gear off. First of all, if you have to take your underwater gear off, you probably shouldn't be going there.
No.
But yeah. And then when they try to get back out, sometimes this gravel will be back.
It's like,
and it's completely dark.
It's like Minecraft. You mine too far deep, and if you happen to have gravel over you and it collapses, it kills you.
Yeah, and then when you start to freak out, you kick up sediment and can't see even more.
Just like that one we covered way back.
Yeah, exactly.
Diving is dangerous.
Yeah. Another dangerous section of this system is kind of like a false ceiling. It's an illusion that happens. It looks like an opening, like the exit of the hole, making some divers think this is how I get out. Let me dive up or let me swim up. And in reality, they just end up swimming up and hitting their head on the ceiling of the cave.
And then you're there in the water, unconscious or concussed.
Or with a headache.
Yeah.
And confused at that point, probably, as to why you hit the ceiling and not the exit.
Yeah. I bet it's cool to visit, but it's probably best to visit it through a tiny little wired robot you could just swim through. I'll sit on the edge up there near those people and then it'll drone down.
Yeah. And the fourth, I think they went a little bit further, and there's even more caverns that they found through that little hole, and some people actually made it out, I want to say. But once you reach the fourth or fifth cavern, then you're starting to get at a depth that is a little more dangerous. You need a certain type of tank. I don't know much about diving. That's why I don't do it.
It shouldn't be pure oxygen, I don't think. Or maybe it needs to be pure oxygen. I can't remember how it went. I watched those videos. Yeah.
Or something. I don't remember. It was some sort of different tank.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know anything about diving. That's why I don't do it. I feel like if
we would have had gills.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some sort
if you are able to get the training, then
even people with the training don't do well every time.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I want to say in one of those groups I mentioned, 2 or 3 of them was actually trained. But
are they the ones that made it out?
I don't remember. They were siblings that didn't make it out.
Oh no.
I think the other sibling did. There was 3 siblings. And one of them made it out, but I don't think his sister and his brother made it out, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm sure they knew the risk when they went down there. I'm guessing.
Yeah. If you have to take your underwater gear off, maybe don't do that. You're probably not meant to be there.
How do you convince someone else to do that with you?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's both do this. Do this. Take off everything like that we need to stay alive and then go through this sediment.
Not blaming anybody, because obviously I would be curious as to what was behind that too, but I also wouldn't be diving that far to see that there was another place to go, because
surely they don't really think that someone got down there
don't
and
feel safe doing that.
hid gold or anything. So
that's a possibility. Is they're like, maybe we could find the gold there. That's why nobody's found it. They didn't take their stuff off.
Yeah.
And then the gravel just randomly falls back into place where you can't get back out.
And then you don't even know if the exit's there anymore. Maybe.
And then if you do manage to get out, you bust your head open on the cave ceiling because there's a part that looks like the sill or the exit. It's not a...
No.
Just
like
be careful. Be careful. But have training, most of all. If you're going to do any kind of underwater anything, have proper training for a while.
I just won't do it.
I'm not doing that either, but that's the short little episode I have for today. Not long at all.
That's almost 30 minutes. That's doing good. I enjoyed this one. It's been a lot of fun ones and one tragic one that just seems like something to avoid.
Yeah, as I was going down my little list of these horrific waters that I found and decided I wanted to do a little bit of research on, I happened to be picking a lot of the more haunted ones and not
actual tragedies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is a tragedy. It was, if it's your house going under the water, then it's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still better than losing both your siblings in a cave.
Well, yeah.
Just be safe out there, okay?
I only got one sibling, and he made it clear just now.
If I drowned in a cave, if I drowned in an underwater cave, you best be looking into foul play because I didn't go willingly. Tell them I didn't do it. Still, these are fun, and it's something different every time. Some of the names are very, very similar, though, like the devil's sippy cup or whatever.
I have 2 devil's pools on my episode list for this particular series.
Yeah.
So I forgot where the other one was, though. But I have another devil's pool in here, and I felt like...
Was there one in Japan? No, there was something similar in Japan. Like, I can't remember what it was called.
We have a devil's bathtub around us somewhere.
I've never been. People keep talking about it, but
it's nothing special. Well, I mean, it's interesting. It's cool looking, but there's too many people there for me to.
That's the thing they never tell you about traveling to beautiful sites is that when the photos
and it's not
are taken,
big enough for all the people that's going to it.
Nah, don't need that. Walk for a mile or 2 up in the woods just to look at a crowd.
Yeah, I'll just go to the local river that people don't care about.
Yeah. There's
or somewhere near the lake.
I like just driving around the lake.
Yeah.
Have fun doing that. Go out and fly a drone or something. You could find a place to have fun without risking your life most of the time. But some people really, that's what they go for. That thrill that I've never wanted to enjoy. Thank you again. And if you like what you heard here, we have other podcasts. We have Brother Knows Quest, a podcast where I tell Beth here about tabletop role-playing games, a different one every week. And then we have Leveling Duo. It's a podcast where me and Beth or me and Dakota talk about a video game we really like whenever a new one comes out. So they're not episodes that come out every week or anything. It's just whenever we get a new game. And we have our YouTube channel up or stuff, X and TikTok, all of those. You'll find a link in the link tree link in the description. If you want to find our main website and listen to our other podcasts, it'll be the first link in that link tree. It'll let you sample those or subscribe to them wherever you want. You can listen to them on YouTube if you want to look them up. And there'll also be a link to leave a donation or a tip. We'd appreciate it. It helps keeps the podcast hosted. Thanks again for the reviews, kind words. There'll be emails down in the description as well. You can reach out to me or Beth using either one of those. One's for the Gruesome Gaming Group. It's our podcast network. And one's for Horrific History and Hauntings, which goes directly to Beth. But if you want to leave something for me on that one, go ahead. I get the Gruesome Gaming Group ones, but it really don't matter which one you message. Just say hi if you want to. I'd like to hear from you. But I guess that is it. Thank you for listening. I've been Rami.
And I'm Beth.
And this has been HH&H. Bye-bye.